These altcoins will moonshot. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about our top 10 cryptocurrency picks that we are using to build $1 million altcoin portfolio here for the 2024 and 2025 bull market. These are all cryptocurrencies that I firmly believe will more than 5 to 10x in the coming bull market, and I'm going to be rank ordering them by my favorite. In plenty of other content, we've talked about the importance of building out a plan and having structure and order to your investments, but I've also talked about the importance of doing your altcoin research. So by the end of this video, you're going to have 10 different altcoins and some information about each one of them that you can then take and do more research and potentially even make life-changing investments in. This may be one of the most important videos that we make leading into the coming bull market, so stay tuned. And without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Today's episode of Climate of Crypto is brought to you by none other than NordVPN. The reason that you ought to sign up for NordVPN is very simple. I'm going to show you how to make a bunch of money, and you don't want to lose it all to a hacker. NordVPN has industry-leading virtual private network technology that is going to help shield you and your information from hackers that otherwise are going to try and steal your funds. I don't want you to make a bunch of money in crypto just to lose it to a hacker, so why not make the very small investment by signing up for NordVPN with the link in the description box down below and getting access to amazing security architecture that's going to keep you safe over the coming bull market. Make sure to sign up by going to nordvpn.com/Jeb and get a 2-year plan and do it all risk-free with a 30-day money-back refund guarantee. Let's set the stage. I have explained to you guys all of the different structures that you need to put in place to make your dollar cost average investments into the market here in Crypto Spring. Summer's coming, and we're going to need to harvest when fall comes, but first we've got to plant some seeds. I, in this video, am going to give you the beginnings of altcoin research on my 10 favorite altcoins so that you can go back and do more research on your own and decide whether these are altcoins that you want to invest in yourselves. Full disclaimer, the Crypto Jeb channel has never, does not, and will never take altcoin sponsorships. That being said, I am a holder of each 10 of these coins, and that is my sole purpose behind sharing them with you. Coming in at number 10, ARBITRUM. ARBITRUM is a layer 2 built on top of the Ethereum blockchain, and it's designed to bring speed and efficiency to layer 2 applications that want to build in the Ethereum ecosystem. ARBITRUM got its start late in the last bull market and originally rallied up to about $2.5 billion in TVL. After a major correction during the bear market, we've rallied all the way back up to $2.6 billion in TVL, setting a new all-time high. And over the course of the last several years, the number of developers working full-time on ARBITRUM has absolutely exploded. The number of commits, otherwise known as the number of code improvements and changes, have gone through the roof as well, and there are some huge names building on ARBITRUM like Aave, Uniswap, Balancer. Hyperliquid is built exclusively on ARBITRUM and has $122 million in TVL. GMX is built on 2 chains, ARBITRUM and Avalanche, and has $500 million in value locked. The Curve DEX is also built out on ARBITRUM. This network is lightning fast, it's captured the public's attention, and it's got a lot of adoption going on by the different dApps and decentralized exchanges built on top of it, which ultimately is one of the most important metrics. So why is ARBITRUM only at rank number 10 on this list? One of my biggest concerns with ARBITRUM is the tokenomics. It sits at rank number 39 on CoinMarketCap with a $2 billion market capitalization, but only 1.275 billion ARBITRUM of a maximum supply of 10 billion ARBITRUM have been released. And if you look at the token unlock schedule, there is a huge amount of ARBITRUM showing up for the investors and for the DAO treasury, and all of this ARBITRUM is eventually going to be released to the public and into circulation, because the ARBITRUM that is sitting in the DAO treasury is eventually going to be spent, and the people that earned that ARBITRUM, that did work for ARBITRUM, are going to end up selling it for profit, putting it into circulating supply, and the same thing is true for those investors. They're eventually going to sell for profit, and it will enter into the circulating supply, leading to supply-side inflation and the decline in the price thereof. All 10 billion ARBITRUM are going to be unlocked in just the next 4 years. The final ARBITRUM will be unlocked in April of 2027. Funnily enough, on 420. I wonder if that was an accident. Probably not. Nevertheless, with ARBITRUM having a huge amount of build-out by some very important dApps, I do believe that its market capitalization will soar in the coming bull market to over $20 billion, which would be a 10x from its current prices at $1.70. While that may strictly be a 10x, if not for the inflation, we will likely see some inflation come in, so it'll probably be more like a 6 to 7x on market capitalization. We do hold ARBITRUM. I am very excited to see where the project will lead, but I am slightly concerned about the circulating supply. Number 9. Near Protocol. Near Protocol calls itself the operating system for an open web. Effortlessly create and distribute decentralized apps on a blockchain with a blockchain operating system. As with many cryptocurrency projects, Near is directed directly at the developer. The developer experience is extremely important because recruiting developers to your cause is the way that you lead the pack. It's the way that you stay ahead, and Near Protocol is aiming to help considerably with just that. Web3 development made easy. Build great applications without the hassle of deciding between platforms, finding the right tools, or learning new programming language. Build faster with JavaScript and familiar developer tools. You can see right here an example of where you can build with JavaScript and Rust, the Solana programming language. Similar to ARBITRUM, Near Protocol is ranking in the 30s at 32 right now, has $2.6 billion in market capitalization, but unlike ARBITRUM, is currently sitting at its total supply. While there is some inflation to be expected, we're not expecting a ton of it to come in, and that all has to do because of the Epoch rewards, which is pretty common for any proof-of-stake cryptocurrency. Near Protocol is an investment that we've made, and it ranks number 9 on the list. Number 8. Cosmos. Whew, I love Cosmos. And who doesn't love Cosmos, and how could you not love Cosmos? Cosmos, in short, is the blockchain for building blockchains. I am not a blockchain developer, so I'm not going to embarrass the entire blockchain development community by trying to explain in a lot of detail exactly what Cosmos does, but the best way I can describe it to you is that Cosmos is the blockchain of blockchains where you can build blockchains. To have a set of tools that allows you to build high-performing blockchains is one of the most important things that you can build in the cryptocurrency space, because how do you go and mine gold without somebody selling pickaxes? Unlike some other names on this list, Cosmos has been around the block. They're ranked number 22 at a $3.5 billion market capitalization, and they have gone through massive rallies in the past up to over $40. As with any project, there is an inflation schedule, and unfortunately there is going to be quite a lot of Atom released in the form of block rewards over the course of the next several years, which will lead it to being inflationary. But a degree of inflation because of block rewards is going to happen with just about any project, so overall we give Cosmos a pretty big thumbs up. Another thing to note is that on some exchanges and some wallets you can receive over 11% APY by staking Cosmos, so there's a pretty good reason to invest in it, even though it has quite a lot of inflation. Number 7. XRP. XRP is a very fast cryptocurrency, which is very closely linked to the company Ripple. And luckily for XRP, the cryptocurrency, Ripple won its cases against the Securities and Exchange Commission in all but one count, and the final count that they did not win in, the SEC dropped. So Ripple is basically scot-free to go and build out with XRP. One of the concerns that we have is that Ripple Labs, over the course of the multi-year lawsuit with the Securities and Exchange Commission, had to release some of the functionality that was locked up with XRP and build some of its products without the necessity of XRP being a component. That being said, XRP still has a die-hard community, and I do think that it will perform very well in the bull market. While I expect that Cosmos will go to well over $50 in the coming bull market, a 5x from now, based on historical data, I could easily see XRP at least doubling to $80 billion in market capitalization. There is also a strong argument that XRP could just go straight back to all-time high, which would be a 6x from here. Not bad for a cryptocurrency already worth $28 billion. Number 6. Uniswap. We had to throw a DEX in there, guys, and I think Uniswap is going to do very well. It's already huge, but at the end of the day, there's a reason that the winners normally get more. If you've ever played Agar.io or Snake.io, you'll know what I'm talking about. The Uniswap protocol is one of the largest decentralized exchanges in the entire world. You can swap, earn, and build on the leading decentralized crypto trading protocol. They've got almost $500 billion in trading volume, 71 million all-time trades, and a huge amount of development. On CoinMarketCap, if you go to exchanges and go to DEX, you will see the Uniswap v3 built on ETH is almost always the #1 highest volume DEX there is. And if you scroll down a little bit, number 7 right now is Uniswap again on Arbitrum. If you include all the versions of Uniswap on all the different chains, it is almost twice the size of its leading competitor, DYDX. Especially considering its track record of having over $10 billion in TVL during the previous bull market, and the fact that it's been on a massive rally of about 50% over just the last couple of months, it stands to reason that Uniswap will be able to capture at least some of its prior highs, which would lead to a huge rally. One of the great things about Uniswap is that pretty much all of the tokens that will ever be unlocked have already been unlocked, which means there's virtually no inflation to come. This cryptocurrency is about as inflationary as something like Bitcoin. Almost non-existent. A big part of the reason for that is because you don't need to have a ton of inflation from the creation of new coins like you do in Cosmos to pay the stakers, because it's an exchange, so there's another method of generating fees to continue the development. Some people say the Uniswap has already rallied way too much, so it's too late to get into it. I think that's nonsense. There's a lot of value there, and I highly encourage you to check it out. Number 5. Internet Computer. You guys have been going crazy about ICP, and there's a good reason. The Internet Computer adds autonomous serverless cloud functionality to the public internet. Whoa! Making it possible to build almost any system or service entirely on a decentralized network using Canister software, an evolution of smart contracts. This is another one of those areas where I am not a blockchain developer, and I'm not going to try and do their job for them. You can go and read the website, but Internet Computer is doing an excellent job of building out cloud infrastructure that is going to help the entire development of Web3 as a whole. While yes, ICP, ICOs IPO'd way too early. If you zoom in, it's had a very strong track record over just the last several months, rallying all the way up from $2 to nearly $15. Currently, it sits at rank number 18 on CoinMarketCap at $5 billion, and I think it could easily 5x from here to $25 billion, which would be about a $50 to $60 ICP. Definitely a cryptocurrency I would recommend looking into more. Number 4, Polkadot. If you go anywhere in cryptocurrency, there is one word that you're going to hear over and over and over again, and that word is interoperability. Just on this desk, I have a Rode soundboard interfacing with a Shure SM7B microphone on top of a blue microphone stand, which is plugged into an Apple MacBook, which I am using a Red Dragon Samsara M902 mouse to connect to. I am running my switching through a Stream Deck, and whenever I am doing my research, I am listening to music on my Beats headphones. On one side of my computer, I have a Belkin dongle, and on the other side of my computer, I have an Anchor dongle. These are all different companies that have the ability to interoperate with each other in a seamless way. And that's how we have to look at the development of the blockchain industry. We've got to be able to have the entire community interoperate with itself, or else we're going to build 50,000 different blockchain industries all in tandem, and we're going to get nowhere. And the developers of Polkadot know that. In physical hardware and also in Web 2, we have a lot of interoperability. It's very easy to connect any kind of device to any part of the internet. We need the same thing in blockchain. Cardano's trying to tackle this, Ethereum's trying to tackle this, but Polkadot built itself around this. The mission of Polkadot: we envision a web where our identity and our data is our own, safely secured from any central authority. Polkadot makes it easier than ever to create and connect decentralized applications, services, and institutions. By empowering innovators to build better solutions, we seek to free society from its reliance on a broken web where its large institutions can't violate our trust. Whereas the modern internet is a master of interoperability, blockchain really isn't, and it's one of the big roadblocks to the development of the entire space. Polkadot seeks to change that. And where you add value, you oftentimes will make money. That's why Polkadot is ranked number 12 on CoinMarketCap, already worth $8 billion, trading at $6.35, and why in the past it has rallied to $52. I do believe that Polkadot will recapture that high and rally all the way back to that previous market capitalization of $50 billion, which would be nearly a 10x from where it is right now. Number 3 is Chainlink. Similarly to how Polkadot operates, Chainlink is trying to build bridges. Here on the very front page of their website, Chainlink themselves proclaims that they want to connect the world to blockchains. If you are trying to bring data onto a cryptocurrency, then you run into the issue of trying to verify whether that data is accurate or not. For example, if you're running a weather decentralized application, you need to get accurate weather data. If you're running a sports betting, gambling software, then you need to have accurate data about what team is winning and what the score is. If you're trying to run a decentralized exchange, you need to have accurate pricing data. Chainlink attempts to bring in data from the real world and put it on-chain in a trusted, verified way so that you can build other applications that need that real-time data. Chainlink is currently ranked just below Polkadot at rank number 13. It's worth $8 billion, and one thing I love about Chainlink is that the circulating supply is already 56.81% of the total supply at 1 billion. I have been a believer in Chainlink for a very long time, and I believe that an investment in Chainlink will bring returns. In fact, whereas Chainlink rallied to over $51 in the prior bull market, and a market cap rallied all the way up to 20 billion, I think Chainlink could go to 40 or 50 billion dollars in this bull market, which would be about a 6 to 8x from where it is right now. Chainlink is the leader in its niche, and for that reason, I think it is going to perform exceptionally well as the entire crypto market grows. All right, now, before I get to number 1 and 2, I've got to explain the order here. These are two cryptocurrencies that you can probably guess, but the reason that they're ranked number 1 and 2 in the order that they are is because I have to look through the lens of engineering and mathematics, yes, but also through the lens of what's being adopted, what's being built on, because ultimately, as Steve Jobs himself put forth, you must engineer products that people care about, not just engineer things and try and make the people care. That is not to be a knock against the cryptocurrency that is in the number 2 slot, but it is to say we do need to see more adoption because that is ultimately the metric that is going to drive price. And so with that said, much to my chagrin, coming in at number 2 is Cardano. Cardano has always been a philosophical and idealistic cryptocurrency, which, by the way, is actually really remarkable. I could sit here for hours and talk to you about Charles Hoskinson, his vision, and interoperability, and scalability, and governance, and all of the different components of what Cardano is trying to build. We could talk about Ouroboros, we could talk about the eras, we could talk about everything, but what I want to make very clear in this episode is that Cardano is a great project, which is built on principles, and it has some incredible technology, and it has some great adoption going on. Cardano has an incredibly talented, smart, and successful and popular thought leader in Charles Hoskinson, and he deserves all the praise that he's getting. I am and have been an investor in Cardano, and I will remain an investor in Cardano, and I am very excited for the project. That being said, there are a few drawbacks that make it only rank number 2 and not number 1, as I originally had placed it. Cardano's TVL. It's just not big enough. Cardano in 2023 went through a massive rally on TVL for about 800%. But the issue is in 2023, we saw Cardano rally from 50 million TVL only to about 400 million TVL. Ethereum right now is sitting at $30 billion coming out of the bear market. Arbitrum, a layer 2 built on Ethereum, is sitting at $2.5 billion. Solana is sitting at $1.3 billion. Avalanche is sitting at $800 million despite all of the FUD. And unfortunately, although there are a ton of DeFi projects being built out on Cardano, there just aren't any big names over here. You're not seeing an Aave, you're not seeing a Uniswap, you're not seeing any of the major dApps building on Cardano yet. And that may change, but for now, it's a problem. Because you see, the reason you build a layer 1 is so that there can be a layer 2. And unfortunately, there just isn't that big of a layer 2 ecosystem on Cardano just yet. Some people will point to their work in Ethiopia, and that's amazing. Some people will point to their work with World Mobile, and that's amazing. And some people will point to the work with college degrees in the nation of Georgia. All of that's great, and I do believe in Cardano in the long run, but I need to see more before I can put it at a rank number 1. That being said, I do think it's a strong enough project that it deserves to be ranked number 2, and I am a large investor in it. One of the things I love about Cardano is it's got a max supply of 45 billion. 35 billion have already been released, so its disinflationary quality is absolutely something to look forward to in its price, and I do think that Cardano will recapture its all-time high this bull market because I think there will be a lot of build-out coming to it in the next year, but we've got to see that build out. And although it's still a small TVL, Cardano's TVL did jump by a staggering 150% in the span of just 2 months. So I do believe in the project. I am an investor in it, and I do think it deserves to be ranked number 2, even though I don't think it cuts it to be at rank number 1. Now, before the number 1 altcoin comes in, and I absolutely shock you with the biggest 180 in the history of YouTube, let me just tell you that I have to be ready to change my opinion when I have new data. That is the job of a technical analyst. Which cryptocurrency is most likely to succeed is not the word of God. It's not unchanging. It is something that has to do with real-world market forces that grow and evolve and change. And so while this cryptocurrency would have never made the top 10 in the last bull market, it comes in at number 1 in this bull market. And there are reasons I'm going to bring to you that Solana ranks as my number 1 altcoin pick outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum for the coming bull market. After doing some research on Anatoly Yakovenko, this dude is a freaking genius. And although Solana came out the gate with a lot of problems, when it initially launched, it immediately crashed. And then, of course, we saw it crash many times thereafter. Solana has brought to the race something very important, a solution to the biggest trilemma in the cryptocurrency game. That being scalability, security, and decentralization. You see, there's a trend in cryptocurrency where you can only have 2 of the 3. You can be secure and decentralized, but you're not going to be very scalable. You can be scalable and secure, but you might not be very decentralized. Or, like Bitcoin, you can be decentralized and secure, but you're not very scalable. Solana managed to pick enough of the right choices to, for the most part, solve that trilemma. And the solution was Solana. Right now, Solana can process a transaction in 400 milliseconds for less than a penny, and it can process, with FireDancer coming out, over 1 million transactions per second. Although that's never been attempted, it is most likely possible. Solana has processed over 50,000 transactions in a second before, which puts it above Visa's average daily transactions per second and above the New York Stock Exchange's transaction throughput. And that's really important because of the amount of development that people are trying to put onto Solana. Speaking of development, the Rust programming language is a low-level programming language, which is very difficult to learn. But with the recent release of Solang, you have the ability now to bring decentralized applications that were built with Ethereum Solidity online over onto Solana, which means that over the next 12 months, you're going to see a bunch of projects built on Ethereum that never would have been on Solana otherwise, moving over to Solana, bringing total value locked and bringing value, customers, development, commits, and attention. Ultimately, adoption. During the last bull market, Solana rallied all the way up to $260, even considering the outages that it was seeing at the time. And with some recent patches stopping the outages, we haven't had one in over 11 and a half months. And with the fact that FTX collapsed, removing a lot of the toxic waste that was being put on Solana by Sam Bankman-Fried and his contemporaries, Solana blew up from $22 all the way up to $122, a move that I honestly think it earned. Solana is also being called the blockchain of the consumer, and there are a lot of consumer applications being built thereon. There's a lot of games being built there. Star Atlas is one of them. You've got the Solana Saga phone, which is a very big movement into the end consumer space rather than just building for developers. It's building for the mainstream. And right now, most of the attention and most of the new development that's going somewhere is going towards Solana. And that is why I have it at number 1 ahead of Cardano. Because even though I think Cardano's tech is probably better, Solana is the one that's getting all of the attention. It has the press, it has the hype, and right now, it has the initiative. That being said, all 10 of these cryptocurrencies are excellent picks, and I do believe all of them will do very well in the coming bull market. I believe that every single one of them will rally by at least 5x, and I do hold every single one of them. Again, I will reiterate, we never have, do not, and never will take coin sponsorships, but I make this video because these are 10 altcoins that I'm invested in, and I want to share with you some of my reasonings for doing just that. If you decide to make investments in any of these cryptocurrencies, remember that security is absolutely essential. So make sure to sign up for the sponsor of this video, which is NordVPN, and protect the investments that you're about to make in some of these projects. And remember that all investments carry risks, and never invest more than you're willing to lose. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. But before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video.